Boy, I got my mind on cake. Boy, I got my mind on cake.
Hustle every night and day. Boy, I got my mind on cake.
Oh, Dirtbag Dan Show. You bitch. Honored to have our first professional athlete guest on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Caswell Berry is in the building.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm real professional, by the way.
Yeah, but you're, dude, you are. You're like, and you are, because I've known you for fucking ever.
Yes.
But I think you're the first, like, homie that became a professional skateboarder of all of my friends, too. You know what I mean? And growing up in San Jose, like, there's a few of those motherfuckers. You know what I mean? There's a few homies.
Something in the water that that breeds some good skateboarders here in San Jose.
It was like, I feel like, and everyone's always like, this is where street skating started. But it really did in San Jose. I feel like the Raging Waters ramp got tore down back in the day, and the 10th Street Park.
I love that.
That place was epic. You better treat that microphone like a penis and talk into it. You better address that like a dick. No, the 10th Street Park was epic. That's where I think I actually seen you for the first time.
It must have been like 8 or 9.
Dude, so I remember going to the skate park, and I wasn't even skating then. Like, Lewis had a board and I didn't. And we went to the skate park, and someone was like, yo, this little girl is dropping in on the fucking vert ramp right now. It is insane. And we go over there, and sure as shit, there's what appears to be a little girl, fucking full-blown, like, kick-turning damn near the coping on it. And then it turns out it's not a little girl. It's just a little boy with super long hair. But San Jose, it seemed like back then, there was like 100 people that fucking skateboarded in this whole city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Skateboarding was at its like lowest point. It was after the 80s, like Gleaming the Cube era had completely faded off, and way before X Games or any of that shit.
Yeah.
It was the egg-shaped fucking 27 millimeter wheels, super long trucks, fucking slappy nose slide on curbs.
Sucked then. Like, pants were raver pants.
Oh, dude, we were ravers.
You try to find the biggest pants, and you just cut them off at the bottom. They were terrible.
Dude, I had a pair of maroon Chapter 7 corduroys that were like size 40 or some shit, and I was
They weren't
fucking
maroon, they were fucking turquoise. And if they weren't turquoise, they were like
and they had like the
orange.
patches on them and shit.
So
It's a trip.
bad. You gotta have a long ass chain, maybe like the big fucking like the big chain.
Totally. Let them know.
wallet.
Maybe 2 chains.
Yeah.
Maybe
2
2 chains
wallets.
before 2 chains, bro. Way before Titty Boy was even rocking 2 chains. We were 2 chains out the wallet. Also, the extra long T-shirts.
Oh yeah.
It was the Goofy Boy style. Like, that was
That's what
it.
they called it.
Remember, Big Brother magazine had the Goofy Boy like comic book, and it was just like this fucking super cliche ass skateboarder. But back then, it was like there was a skateboarder. It wasn't like the fucking punk rock skater and the hipster skater and the fucking hip hop skater. It's like now it's super fucking niche
everyone's
market.
got their own gig, like you can be a nerd and have some fucking like high water pants on. And,
Yeah.
And there's a dude wearing a fucking pair of suspenders, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on at the skate park? Like,
Yeah, what is this fashion
what?
show bullshit? But at the same
overalls,
time,
all kinds of weird shit going on.
it's way different, and kids are way more fashion forward, and it's become way more a part of like their
Well, that's
skateboarding.
almost as important as like the trick selection that you're doing these days, which is
That seems
fucking
like it's
floors
newer
me.
to me, because it seemed like back in the days, like even when like in like the fucking Hammers era, and when like all the kids started to be a little more punk rocky and shit, and they're a little more like Andrew Reynolds, that's when like it was, everyone was doing the same tricks though. They were all just doing big frontside flips down huge sets of stairs.
Yeah.
Now it's like the trick selection matches the kind of fucking skateboarder, and it becomes really fucking cool. You know what I mean? There's cats like Louis Barletta who was doing that, a decade ago, skating his own fucking way, made his own tricks interesting and shit like that, not doing the same shit everybody else. Now it seems like there's so many like different kinds of dudes who are just like, oh yeah, I don't fucking do the same shit that everybody else does. Like, if you're gonna watch my part, it's gonna be completely fucking different.
Yeah, that's true. And the good thing about it is, like, I mean, it's always been this way too. You can choose whatever the fuck you want to do. Like the hot trick of the month or year, like you could choose to fucking go to the right and just bypass all that shit.
Yeah.
But then there's the dudes that you can like tell that kind of been like they'll study like the old 80s videos,
Yeah.
and then that's like their gig, you know.
Their gig
So,
is
yeah.
doing like flyouts or doing fucking like
Yeah.
air walks and doing the full like you're like but people have been doing that. You're not Christian Asola. You didn't invent this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
It's way doper when you see like what's that dude Richie whatever the guy who skates like the fucking wood tree trunks and shit like that and does all the crazy body burial
Jackson.
that shit's that's like and then the Japanese dude that does like all the fucking
Gumayagi.
yeah, it's amazing. Like that to me is so much cooler than
For sure.
like just taking some old shit that people used to do. That's like some new school like Rodney Mullen-esque shit. You know what I mean?
That dude, the Japanese dude, is on his own fucking wavelength, which is very fucking respectable as far as I'm concerned. You know,
To pick up something that everybody does,
Yeah.
and then find your own way to do it.
Yeah, and you know you can, and that's the thing is you can choose. That's your choose your own adventure kind of book right there. You know, and that's why I've always kind of been drawn to skateboarding, and like I'm sure the same with you. Like you can decide what the fuck you're gonna be doing that day, and no one's gonna tell you otherwise. You know.
No doubt. I think I was definitely like not into team sports. And skateboarding was the first thing that I did that I was like that I would like hurt myself to get better at, or that I would like not like but continue to do. Like I couldn't fucking do an ollie and I just sat up all night and just over and over and over and over. Yeah, like nothing anything to that point. I'm fucking 10 years old. You just quit if it's hard. You know what I mean? You're like, oh fuck this video game is hard.
Yeah, I can't
fuck this
make
shit.
it past the 7th level.
Done.
Yeah.
Unless I got a code, fucking up, down, left, right, BA, start shit. Like I'm done with this.
Your attention span, your dedication towards things is just nil. You know.
And I think that's why like my parents were cool enough to like fucking let us build ramps and shit and do stuff like that
in the backyard. I don't even know. Fuck, how old I was or whatever it was on the south side.
So that's why we knew each other, right? Was because we both had ramps and shit. You know what I mean? So people would go and there was only so much shit to skate.
That's the thing about the ramps is like you'd get dudes coming from the other side of town to come skate your ramp, and then you'd do the same thing to there. It'd be like you'd make connections that way, because otherwise, like you were talking earlier about skate parks and all this stuff, like you had one.
Yeah.
In the Bay Area.
There was 0 skate parks in San Jose, not a fucking one. And if you skated downtown, which we did all the time, you had to be prepared to run from horse cops, to run from bike cops, to run from San Jose State cops. You know what I mean? You got tickets. They took our boards.
Yeah, a ticket at 11 years old. What cop feels so accomplished to give an 11-year-old a ticket?
It's so funny now because I remember just like a couple months ago, we were skating in Chavez Park like it was fucking...
Yeah, that's where I got my ticket at 11-year-old fucking kid, just, skating.
And you're telling the cop when you're 11, you're like, I got no place to go. Like there's literally there's nowhere I could ride my skateboard. And the cop's like, yeah, go fucking sell drugs or something. Take your board, tell your parents to come get it.
You're doing something that's healthy for you,
And you would say, dude, that's why we had like the skateboarding is not a crime shirts. That's why we would argue with the police, because we were actually justified in it. You know what I mean?
I mean, when people wear that shirt these days, like they don't realize the fucking struggle there was before.
Not at all. Because it is like, they're like, you can't skate here. They're like, go to one of the 9 skate parks that we built in your city.
Why wouldn't you go to the skate park? There's one literally, I see it right now.
And they have a handrail that's built to grind. It's at the perfect fucking level.
Smooth ground, landing, and runway. It's perfect height,
Dude, and we didn't have there was none of, even the skate parks that existed in the late 90s, early 2000s were fucking... it was all carving. It was all bowls. Fucking
transitions.
Santa Cruz, Quimby, fucking
Derby?
or Derby, sorry, and then fucking Palo Alto, and fucking all the way in Santa Rosa. And it's just a bunch of fucking. There ain't a fucking hard corner to grind in that whole bitch. You know what I mean? We made the round parts grindable. We fucking ground them down with our fucking trucks and tails over time and shit. Yeah, now it's like, fuck, you go everywhere and there's a skate park. I was just saying, we go on tour and you go in, like, especially up north, Pacific Northwest, it's all fucking insane bowls. And the kids that grow up out there are just fucking they're just dropped into a vert ramp when they're fucking 10 years
Straight
old.
out of the fucking uterus, like popped
Into
into
a
the ramp.
vert
That's what all my homies would always say about me. Like,
No, that's absolutely true.
your mom was sitting on top of the vert ramp
And
and
just
fucking
pop.
pushed you out, and I just like slid right down the transition. You know.
It must have been a trip like I feel like you had pressure on you to like do something with skateboarding since you were fucking 10 years old. Because you were so good at it at such a young age that people are always like, oh yeah, he's gonna be a pro skater. Like it's fucking destined, you know what I mean?
Maybe, but at that point, like, I was so fucking far invested, like, just with my own, like, just every single day. Like, I wasn't even really stopping for a second to hear what everyone was saying anyways.
Yeah.
Like, I was already out. I was gone down the street by the time someone wanted to talk. I'm like, dude, I don't got time for this. Like, you know, I'm already at Long Strugs.
Nah,
They're
yeah.
on Blossom
It was
Hill.
all about how everybody had our sections too. Like we were over at Santa Teresa High School.
Yeah, you guys were on the other side of Southside.
Over the Snell overpass,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
the Santa Teresa High School with the ledges.
Yep.
We'd come fuck with you and Malik and Jigga would be at the Long's Drugs
Yep.
with the fucking curb and then the raised
Like the
curb and the
Oak
manual
Grove crew
pads.
over there at Long Strugs.
Totally.
And then the Centuries.
You remember
over
like
there.
Jerry Sue and them were over at Bret Hart?
Valley, yeah.
Yeah. They go. You go to Bret Hart and you see them there, fucking doing huge, fucking like half cab flips down the
And
8 set and shit.
And everyone had their own different, like, you know, shit that they skate. So they'd be good at the set of stairs over there at fucking Bret Hart because there was a fucking 6 stair and an 8
Yeah.
stair. And then dudes over, like...
Yeah, I'll come over to ST and I'm laying into
I got
fucking
ledges for days.
Yeah.
Tricks.
like the whole ledge like grinds from one side to the other and shit
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, everybody was groomed on their specific shit.
It was like fucking... What's that gang movie in New York? I don't even know why I'm tripping right now.
Warriors.
Warriors.
Yeah. I was
Skating,
like,
you know, like...
yeah, we all had our like fucking and it was
You'd be skating too because it was either wait for a bus for a half an hour or skate there in 20 minutes too. So you got to pass through a neighborhood.
yeah,
It's
for
like
sure,
seeing
for
it.
sure. And it fucking we really were different too. Like the Oak Grove kids were more hip hoppy, the ST kids were more punk rocky, and then like the Bret Hart, Almaden Valley kids were super hipsterty. Like they were wearing floods and shit. And yeah, that's funny, man.
Absolutely.
That shit, it just brings me back.
That kind of shit is like golden memories right there.
How did you avoid like the fucking pitfalls of being a fucking teenager and like pussy and marijuana? Because that's what fucked, like, we were all, I felt like when I was a 12-year-old, I was like exceptionally good for being a 12-year-old. Like I had my like bag tricks, like I could do kickflip 5-0s on ramps. And that was like, if when you were 12, that's dope. But then like I got to the point where I was 16 and I'm doing the same tricks. It like my flat ground game was on point because I'm waiting
You
for
grew
bags
some
of
legs,
weed.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
You're
but
a little bit bigger too, so you can actually pop your board. You know.
but it's the same shit. I wasn't like once fucking a piece of pussy and a joint popped up, my focus had shifted dramatically. And it's not like you weren't there partying with us, but like
I
you
waited
didn't
a
get
little bit,
sucked
you know,
into
yeah.
it like we
No,
did. You know what I mean?
You know why is it's I can really remember too the difference between when I was going to Oak Grove and seeing Gizmo. Like I seen him drink a 64 ounce fucking when they actually made those or whatever. It was the biggest fucking beer I'd ever seen in my entire life. And then he just ended up filling a garbage can up with all that beer. But he was like hanging out with chicks.
Yeah.
And this was like, and then to go to the next part of the question, why I never fell into that was I ended up going to Gunderson.
Yeah.
And Gizmo again. We ended up going to the same school somehow by chance. All those dudes, like, they were my homies, and I'd skate with them. And then one day, out of nowhere, it was like they weren't there, and like I took it personal. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sitting at lunch with all these kids that are my homies, skater homies, but they're already like sort of separating themselves, like hanging out with the girls and stuff.
Yeah.
And like I just got like kind of bitter about it. I was like, dude, I don't have any like homies that skate anymore.
Yeah.
Like they want to go to this garage and
Yeah,
get
man.
fucked up.
Go to Ryan's house and fucking
And I
weigh out bags and fucking light up, bro.
The only
We roll
skating
blunts
they
and
would do-
dip them in honey and put them in the oven.
They would
fucking get
skate
them
the launch
perfect.
ramp all fucked up and end up getting hurt and all kinds of shit. And I'd hear about it, but like again, like I said, I'd take it personal. I was like, dude, you know what? Like I don't want to do that right now. Like I'm
Yeah.
so fucking stoked on where I am. I wasn't even anywhere with skateboarding, but in a
But you were
personal
always
sense,
fucking
like,
somewhere, and that whole like that, and you know, but there was definitely like a time where there was a time to keep focusing on skateboarding for me. The homie Kyle, who was just over here, he was amazing when we were young. You know what I mean? Like Ogden.
Oh yeah.
It's just
There's
fucking.
a whole side story about the Longs Drugs and fucking Santa Teresa crew right there.
Yeah,
And,
man.
like, for some reason, there was always this weird like non-existent competition between
Yeah.
us, and like,
Well, because you were the best one from over there, and Kyle was the best one from our side.
dudes would be telling me over like, "Hey, Kyle did this and this," and I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah.
It would be like, "No, but
Like
he's doing, like
You gotta
so they
do that
expect
shit
me
now.
to go and do that." And I was like, "What the fuck, man? Like, I'm not him." And like, for some reason, we're not like in this weird like competition. He'd come over to not Okra, but Longs, and then we ended up like it was this weird session off of the fucking loading dock. And it turned into this like one-on-one competition.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Who could do the 360?
you guys were like
first off
tweaking melon grabs, just flat ground and shit.
And like, I had no animosity towards him, and I hope it wasn't like. He
No,
didn't
I
have
think
any
that
towards me,
shit
but
was like it was a very healthy competition. Kyle was like he was better than me. Like I always had the transition edge on almost all the homies except for you, because you like were born in a fucking half pipe. But I was the other kid that had a half pipe all the time, you know?
Yeah.
And my brother was crazy good at that shit. So I had to be good enough, you know?
For sure.
At the street and at the ramp shit.
And with your brother, I'm sure you fucking kind of like, you want to hang out with us right now? Like, you got
Drop in on the over vert wall.
Yeah.
Like if you don't drop in on the over vert wall, then you're a bitch and you have to go back inside. So like shit like that all the time. If you don't drop in on the roof once, like everybody's got to drop it off the roof once, dude.
Your initiation.
Yeah. So shit like that, dude. If you don't skate right now with your fucking foot cast on, like come on, dude. It doesn't even hurt anymore. You can
You
skate.
got a cast. That's hard.
Dude, do you remember like skating around being the homie with the broken leg, like just going with the homies to the spots and shit and just sitting there
I
like,
luckily
fuck.
never ended up getting hurt
Oh man, you
until
fucking
the last 5 years.
No, and that's you had a big like fucking long stretch off as an adult, which is probably way worse than fucking well, I don't know, because I guess as a kid you might have fell into the fucking weed and women like the rest of us.
I could end up
Who
going
knows if it
digging
was a
left
broken
instead of
ankle?
going right,
I'll tell you what,
yeah.
the first time I fucking got my dick wet, I had a full leg cast.
The hell, that might even have helped get you.
Well, dude, it was
Where you wanted to
definitely like some sympathy fucking bonage going on there, but also like I was focused on the pussy because I couldn't skateboard for
Yeah.
fucking like 9 months. I fucked myself up, man. I broke my fucking tibia, like and it was the kind of break where you fucking like you hear it, you know, like
Yeah.
the homies were walking to the payphone and they heard it like fucking a quarter mile away, like, oh, was that somebody's bone breaking and shit?
That's the kind of shit too. You don't even like. I never knew about that until it happened, and when it does, like, you're never forgetting. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, like
that's
real
the type of
injury.
shit. It like after I ended up fucking breaking, I sat on my foot. Actually, last year, March 28th, just had the anniversary, and I luckily just like looked at my phone. And it was the 29th, and I was like, fuck, I missed all day yesterday, and I'm still walking. I'm so happy. But when I
Yeah.
fucking sat on my foot in Australia, like, it was like a zipper mixed with weird like fart bubbles in the fucking bathtub, like a boop,
A
boop, boop.
boop. Oh god.
And I just remember that. And after that happened, trying to sleep, I would wake up to like it replaying
That
in my
noise.
mind. Yeah, I couldn't get rid of it for like a week at least.
I passed out when I broke the tibia.
I wish I
And it
would've,
was
man.
like the force of my body broke my bone. So like I planted my foot and then I was like spinning because my other foot hit the board
you
and it
just
spun me
twisted.
around and it went bah! And so that's why it was so loud of a snap. And I looked and my shin went, whoop, and then it started up over here again and went whoop. You know what I mean? It was obviously broken. And I said, oh shit, broke my leg, and then just boom, passed out like it was done.
Wow.
I woke up in the car and like the homies like Miguel and Kyle's brother Cliff and like Lewis was driving. They were taking me to Kaiser and I was in the back seat and I was like, what the fuck is? Oh, and I just passed out again. And then when I woke
Fuck,
up,
you got lucky,
dude,
man.
they brought me right into the hospital. I have to wait for no waiting room and shit. I woke up in the cast room. I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
You didn't have
hell
to have
yeah.
surgery to fix it?
No,
Oh,
dude,
you're
that's
so
the thing about
stoked,
breaking a
man.
bone when you're 13 years old.
Yeah.
All
It'll
that,
grow back together.
just
It's cool.
fucking snap that shit. You're gonna have a little bump, but you're
don't
good.
need
You know what I
fucking
mean?
metal to keep you together.
No, yeah. As like the older you get, the worse that shit is.
No shit.
So many of the homies that were really like we talk about Gizmo, the homie Matt Rogers, that were really good, really talented, and like on the path to skateboarding professionally. and then just fucking injury took him out. You know what I mean? I feel like both of those dudes specifically, it was the go big era of fucking skateboarding. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you always had like such a fucking smooth style, and because you skated transition so much, which is I feel like way more forgiving than the fucking handraily fucking big. No, totally.
Up.
Yeah.
Hang up at the top of the ramp.
The one time you do, it's the fucking worst shit ever.
And you're gonna remember that.
Yeah,
for sure.
But like that, like I remember Gizmo specifically just getting. Like they just pushed him, and then when he got hurt, they were like, "Oh yeah, well we don't give a fuck about you anymore." You know what I mean?
That's the sad kind of thing about depending on who you ride for and who's backing you, and how much time you've put in there. Like, it could be just like any normal job. Like you just show up one day and you're just, you're sick. You had too many sick days. You're out.
Yeah.
Or,
sorry, dude.
Yeah. Like, oh, we got this other.
Got to fill this seat in the van with someone who's gonna do some fucking tricks.
Yeah, we got this other dude who just sent in his video and like. He's fucking hungry and ready to go. And that's also, too, for kids or, teenagers, like there's a certain time where you're, like, really replaceable. You know what I mean? Like, and depending on how much...
Especially when it came down to, like, who's down to just throw themselves down, like, a fucking huge set of stairs. Because there was a time, like, post, like, fucking the... first or the second Toy Machine video when like after the crazy Jamie Thomas part when it's just everything became fucking monstrous. I remember Aaron Harrison off the fucking tanker and shit into the bank at the end of the fucking Misled Youth just going bam, 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 bam. And that was like expected of you at that time. Like you're going to go out and just fucking fling yourself down a couple stories and you know what I mean? And I still see it today. Like I still see it on Instagram today.
There's a lot of will and no skill involved sometimes with that. And sometimes you get the most random kids coming out of nowhere. And then tomorrow they're even fucking gone too. But it's like they're like the flash in the pan type of shit, And you get those dudes doing something like that, and then you play a game of skate with them, or like the
they don't have the fundamentals.
They can't even figure out how to fucking do the second half of the trick. But they're doing like a fucking lip slide down like a 20.
Totally. Like
they can't do a frontside 180. But in order to do a frontside lip slide down a handrail, you
got to do 90. You know what I mean? Like,
how does that even equate? Like, that's fucking ridiculous to me.
Well, because I feel like when you're like, my brother, when I grew up skateboarding, I learned like a nose slide, and then I learned like a rail slide, and then I learned a 50-50, and then I learned 5-0. Like if I tried to 5-0 before I 50-50 just because I was leaning back heavy, he'd be like, no, fucker, 50-50. Like put them both down. I remember I do kickflip body varials. He's like, no, that's bullshit. Like kickflip and go straight, and then you can do a kickflip body varial. Don't do it, you know what I mean? So we were like pushed in the right direction. But I think when you're doing the big shit like that, it becomes so much of like a muscle memory. Like you're not even there anymore. Just like as soon as you fucking hit the end of the fucking steps, like, well, hope this works out. You know what I mean? Versus like when you're skating a ledge, you're really thinking about like, okay, where am I landing? Am I on the part where the fucking ledge is wax? Where do I got to turn out and shit? When you fucking go down a 7-stair handrail and shit, you're just like, oh God, I'm on the ground. You know what I mean? Like,
I'll agree with you with that too. Cause there's even like, just recently for me, like I was doing a trick, and this happens not that often, but often enough to like, you recall it, you talk to other people about it too, and it happens to other people. But you'll be doing a trick, and your mind like it fucking turns off, and you're just there's nothing like for maybe 2 seconds or something. There's just nothing, and then the next thing you know, you look down at your feet, and you're like looking around, and you're rolling away from the trick, and you're like, oh, I gotta pretend like fuck, that's awesome. Like, like you really like didn't know what the fuck was going on, and you're so stoked. You're just like, but you gotta calm it down and be like, all right, that's what what I was doing right there, But inside you're just like, fuck yeah, like I pulled that shit.
First time
shocked that you landed it, even though you tried it a fucking however many times.
You sat there over and over again, and then when you get it, you're like,
if you can, dude, that's why like sometimes I'm amazed. There's like some of the dumbest motherfuckers in skateboarding. They're good. It's fine. Or either that, you're just really good at turning your brain off.
It's a different part of your brain.
Take that shit out.
And it becomes like motor skill shit as opposed to like, being a mathematician about where you're putting your foot and everything.
Another thing is I just talked to somebody recently about it. We were trying to like gauge what the physical / mental, like how much percentage you give. Like, because I mean, physically, you know, you have to be able to hold yourself up if you're jumping down something. Your legs have to hold you up. You have to be able to like kick your foot in a certain way. But then mentally, like there's so much mental involved with the physical.
Like where you're like how you're adjusting your weight and shit like that. That is not. You couldn't possibly be thinking about that while you're thinking about everything else. You know what I mean? Like like half of it is really calculated and the other half of it is like breathing where you don't fucking think about breathing. You just fucking breathe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a trip. I remember the first time I grinded a handrail. It was a Presidio handrail.
On SF?
Yeah. The one that we fucking used to take the generator out there and we just fucking skated all night. And
the silver square one down the 6.
Yeah.
I never got to skate that of all the fucking spots.
Bro, we used to fucking session the fuck out of that. Mario Ghoul had the generator.
There's still footage. I've seen footage of that.
Dude, fucking
spot from him.
Big ass Miguel Duran was grinding it, like, and it was the scariest thing to watch in the fucking world. He would literally ollie. He'd get on at the top of the handrail, and then he'd go ding, 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 like his trucks, his wheels are just fucking hitting both sides.
It's like violining across.
Dude, it's so fucking scary. But this, like you were saying, like I tried it over and over and over again, and then I just landed it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I did anything different than the other times.
No.
It just like you said. That time, my brain turned off. I didn't think, jump out or get away.
Yeah.
My brain turned off, and then I was on the ground. I was like, oh, shit.
If you could fucking harness that, you'd be the best fucking skateboarder in
Yeah,
the world.
man.
And sometimes anger does that to you. You get so fucking angry that your brain is just like, and then you're rolling away. You're like, oh, God.
Music used to do that for me in transition, like at the skate parks and at on the ramp.
For sure.
Because I would just do tricks that I would hella like be thinking hard about doing. But if I would just be listening to music and I almost have my eyes closed and I'd be just do it, kickflip, back 5, just land right on it. You know what I mean? And there's so many times where I'm trying to like playing a game of skate and I'm trying and I'm landing 50-50 or a little over or a little under and shit. But when I was zoned out, I just like, whoop.
You get older and then it becomes fucking weed and beer or something. Like I remember sometimes weed was like fucking, it was a savior, like I'd go and I'd get super baked and go and try a trick, and this was like when I actually could harness the high and like be stoked, and
you guys like started late. Like we were already, you guys started late.
Yeah.
So it was so cool for us to get you guys, like you were like fucking 17, like, yeah, I'll smoke weed. Now we're like, oh shit, man, we've been doing this shit since we were 12. Yeah. You're down? Fuck yeah, this is awesome. Caswell's high.
And
he's,
you guys,
and he's
then
ripping.
I'm just like sitting and I'm fucking like staring at this fucking, the rail or whatever it is for about like 10 minutes. And then I'm like thinking about what the hell I'm going to do. And no, like it really fucking did help because I didn't really give a shit. Like, I'll try one trick, it didn't work, and I go off to the next one, try it, doesn't work, and then all of a sudden the third trick works like within 3 tries.
Yeah.
And like I was sold.
But you're not doing the thing
sold.
where you're like trying shit over and over and over again until you get it and then move on to the fucking next thing.
Well, that was when I mastered the high.
Yeah.
Right? Before, and I remember, for instance, going to Van Skate Park when they had one in Milpitas.
Oh, but I used to love that fucking place.
And I think I might even have smoked maybe some weed with you or.
Oh, like, hell yeah. Go skate days, bro?
It was like.
Go skate days for sure.
It was like a joint and it had keef on it.
Oh, yeah.
And
extra shit.
I got so fucking baked. I was stoned for 4 hours, but I remember you get 2-hour session at the Van Skate Park.
Yeah.
I probably landed like 3 tricks, and I skated the one flat bar.
Just like
there,
kicking shit out.
I'd get into it and grind the whole fucking thing at the end, and then just jump off. I couldn't fucking handle it. I was so fucked
Oh, that's so funny, man. That's so funny to think about you doing that shit too. We used to session the cannery ramp there hard because the cannery ramp, it was a replica of the cannery ramp that was at the NHS factory. Yep. And I remember like Tim Brosh taking us there when we were kids.
Like an elbow. Like
it had a point
or whatever.
It had a point on one side, and then the other side it fucking dipped in, like and it had like the crown extensions.
A quarter of a bowl, or like an eighth of a bowl.
It was like 40 feet wide so too. Good. Fucking amazing. Yeah. That I'm such a pussy. I never dropped in on the vert ramp. I dropped in on every vert ramp at every skate park but Vans. I never dropped in on that vert ramp.
Is literally full size fucking vert ramp.
Dude, I stood on it and went.
That's a 12-foot vert ramp with 11 or
It's like 12,
10 and a half.
12 going on fucking 22.
Yeah.
When you're standing on that bitch, like it goes
You might as well
inwards.
be on the Grand Canyon on that bitch.
It's like 4 feet of fucking vert on that thing. Like you're gonna drop. Like you're not gonna just touch the fucking your
Wheels will go down the whole entire time, but when you're looking at it, it goes in and then out, you know. So
it could be 8 feet and over vert, and I'm down. I'll fucking woo, bah, and like catch it. But if that thing, just looking at it, no. The one at the Umbarger Park.
That was a mini one. That was like 10 foot.
It was perfect.
Yeah. It
was
a really
perfect.
good one.
It had like a foot of vert on it.
Yeah.
That was the only vert ramp that I had ever done like 50-50 grinds on, like stand up 50-50 grinds.
And that was scary as shit too.
Fuck yeah, scary rolling in.
Yeah.
Not scary getting into it, but then you
no.
get into it and then you just step off backwards and shit.
Yeah, the best part is like you turn that shit into an adult slide. You go to grind, and then if you're not feeling it, you just like kind of let go and just slide down.
Dude, fuck that. We used to sleep there, and we had mattresses in the back, the little like twin mattresses, and we jump and fucking woo! We jumped from remember there was the vert wall that was bigger. It was higher than the fucking vert ramp, and it went against the wall.
But the vert ramp was separated a little bit, so you could either like jump in from the vert ramp into it, and then it was even like you could climb up the back of it, which is even sketchier.
It's super sketchy. And we would do that shit. We would fucking slide from the top with the fucking mattresses.
And that thing had like 6 feet or 8 feet of vert, where just like, I mean, I don't know if you guys know what vert is out there. You could be talking
Straight up.
Yeah, it just
Straight
means
the fuck
basically
up.
The ramp goes from being curved to straight wall. Like, it's just straight up, and you're looking down this thing.
And it shoots you out. Like
Oh, for sure. If you fuck up, you're not going down and sliding into the ramp. You're going to flat ground.
yeah. It's weird how that works. It's definitely weird how that works. Like everybody who I've ever seen like drop in on a vert ramp and not commit to it, they
go
just
straight to
jump
flat.
straight to fucking flat.
There's no connection with the ramp at all.
Yeah.
That's the first time I ever dropped in on a vert ramp. I went straight, standing up on that thing, just shaky legs, like I got this. Whoa. No, I don't got it, and I just fucking went out.
How old were you? Fucking 9 years old?
Roughly about that, and it was in Minnesota at this like skate festival, this extreme sports festival type of thing going on they had there called the Alt Jam or something, Alternative Jam. And
Skateboarding was so cheesy back in the day.
Like the ramps had like fucking lightning bolts and shit like spray painted on them,
Yeah.
like speckles of like paint splashed
Oh,
onto it.
shit, bro.
And the radio station would cover it.
Fucking
and
Art Deco bullshit.
It was pretty
Yeah,
bad.
it was super cheap.
And
It
I
was
just
super like
remember
Encino Man skate park
being
every
like
day.
9 years old kid, like kind of being like I really wanted to do it, but if I were to ever do it, I had to have the pressure of all these people.
A
around
large
to do it.
audience. Yeah.
And there was no thought in my brain thinking like this could go wrong, but it went wrong.
I feel like both, like the most I've ever fucked myself up and the best tricks I've ever done have been under those circumstances. Like at a memorial jam, and
Yep.
we're just everybody's fucking going out.
You're
And I'm
feeding
like,
off that energy though, you know, and that's the thing is that's the best part of that kind of shit though, is like you make the best decisions and the worst decisions based on other people and how what's going on, you know, and it's.
You know what I always bring up is one of the best days I ever had skateboarding was with you, and my wife was there in San Francisco.
That's surprising.
And we were like fucking going, like hopping fences and skating crazy handrails and jamming. You remember that shit? Do you remember we went to?
Yet.
Okay, so we went to San
hoping
Francisco,
it'll ring a
dude.
bell.
One of the times we hopped the fence and you hit my wife in the lip with the fucking skateboard, and she just troopered it up. She was like, "Oh shit, it's all good. It happened."
sorry.
No, it was fucking epic. That's a great story for her to tell her friends. But we went. It was all of us. It was like Gizmo. Jigga, Malik, me, you.
Was this driving involved, or did we take the Caltran there?
I'm pretty sure we drove and then got out of a car, and then we all just fucking skated like through the streets, fucking all over the city and shit.
Okay.
And we were skating like I want to say it's like a 6 or 7 stair handrail. It was like brown, and the stairs were brick and shit like that. And
Oh yeah. It was in a little park.
Yeah.
That's probably
we'd
where
like
I
hop
hopped
the fences. Yeah, exactly, to get into the little park, and nobody was in the park, and it was just like the little perfect handrail.
It's because that park is fenced off to where like I don't know, they don't ever open that.
They don't
fucking
want
thing.
homeless people to
Yeah.
be chilling in the park.
And here's a good fucking side story to that is years later, which was like one of the very few skate tickets I've ever gotten was there. So I'm skating that thing, and I'm with some people too. I look over and there's this black dude. He fucking pulls out his horse dick and he's pissing all over the fucking. He's like pissing all over. Just fucking.
It's just an obscene amount of urine.
It was a
like
lot.
he was drinking liters upon liters of liquid before he decided to pee
and
that
then
day.
he ended up like putting his shit away, sitting down, smoking crack.
Nice.
And then a cop comes in. He's like, "You guys are getting tickets. We're writing you down."
You're like,
He's
are you sure the dude?
Like, hey, there's this guy smoking crack right there. He even exposed his genitals to me.
He showed me his giant dick.
Come on, man.
He showed me his giant dick. He peed like a horse for fucking 3 minutes, and you're going to give me the ticket?
And his answer was like, "Oh, yeah, my captain, or whatever the fuck they call it, he's right there, and he sent me to go and give you guys tickets. So, like, you see that guy right there? Yeah, so he's the one who wanted me to write you tickets." And I'm just like, well, how does
that old
supposed
shit
to make me feel better?
Yeah, or make me
that's
think that.
almost be like, yeah, well, I used to skate.
Yeah,
I used to skate. Like, oh, cool, officer.
yeah, that's
Well,
great.
You're really awesome.
Well, still
Thanks
give me
for
the ticket. Fucking asshole. They understand, though, because I used to skate.
You know Tony Hawk? Yeah, I grew up with that guy. You're just he's spinning fucking stories and fucking lies to try to like sound cool. Like, don't do that. Get the fuck out of here.
Steve Cavarello? Did you? I used to skate with Steve Cavarello.
I skated his ramp in Campbell, and you're
Yeah.
just like, you didn't do anything of the sorts. Just write me the ticket and go away.
That's the funniest though, and it's like, yeah, I'm sorry guys, I don't want to do this, but that guy over there wants me to do it, and we're like, well, now I think you're a pussy.
Yeah,
and
for one, you got no balls, and you're a complete asshole.
Yeah.
So.
Now I think you're a pussy on top of you being a dick. Yeah. But that handrail, I remember I did a lip slide on it, which is like the coolest thing I've ever done on a fucking handrail front side. And you were doing like fucking like 270 flip front side board slides on it at the same time, like something fucking blah, you know what I mean? And it was to me it was so cool because everyone was as stoked when I did the fucking lip slide as when you did the fucking 270 front boards side. You know what I mean? It was just so that's how it always was. Like it wasn't like
skating with homies too. Is
everyone was pushing each other because I wouldn't have done that ordinarily if everybody else wasn't fucking.
And we could feel that, and we knew honestly what your what your limit or what had been before, and the fact that you're exceeding that. Like, I'm gonna be fucking stoked to see that you're actually progressing or trying to push yourself.
Yeah.
Like, and it doesn't matter what fucking trick you're doing and what trick he's doing. Like, I know my homie can do the fucking lip slide or whatever every single time. And that's great. But if he does it, it'd be like, oh, that's cool. Good job. Like high five, whatever it is.
One of those people is going out of their comfort zone.
Shit, you know, like freaking out, like, yeah!
Yeah, no, like the day that we were skating the Presidio and shit. People were getting off, but the most anyone cheered is when Miguel finally fucking got off the rail and rolled away. Because it was not only like our hearts were like in our fucking guts because he's just fucking he's fucking 6'20", just slamming around on this handrail. Like if he falls, it's gonna hurt so bad. But he lands and and everyone's just like, fuck yeah, like that's amazing because you could tell that like. You know, fucking 20 tries later at falling a bunch and shit like that. It doesn't matter if everybody else there.
Blood, sweat, and tears, that fucking cliche ass shit.
Yeah, for real.
But really, sometimes when dudes are actually laying it out on the line like that, those are the most memorable ones. Like, I remember more of the times, like, homies getting stuff that they, were just trying fucking their heart out to get more than stuff that I do. Sometimes people come up to me and they're just like, you remember when you did this? I'm like, fuck, honestly, dude, I don't. No. But I do remember when my homie did this.
Yeah.
I can't, like, I'll watch videos sometimes of myself, like, from old videos or whatever, like, and I'll be tripping, like, fuck, I can't even do that now. Like, that's awesome, but, like...
That's the story of my fucking life.
I don't even remember doing it because it's so fucking, like, long ago or something that I don't do very often.
Yeah.
I don't fucking remember. So people come up all the time, like, you remember that one time you did that? And I was like... No,
not at all. But you'll remember like some like semi-normal shit that the homie did just because everybody fucking went nuts. Because it was 30 tries later at the end of the day and fucking last try and shit.
Or it may even have been like the sketchiest thing in the world. Like it was so squirrely, like you thought he was going down, but he's rolling away somehow, and then it's just like a celebration. Everyone's running towards him, fucking throwing their boards at him, like drinks are flying.
You used to have to wait till like the skate video came out once a year maybe, or the 411 part, or fucking whatever. Now it's like, how much has skateboarding changed from like a business perspective, or for like the athletes in like the YouTube, Instagram, like instant gratification era for the fans?
It's insane. Like I've literally in 1 year, which was, I don't even know, fucking 4 years ago or whenever Instagram was like super hot.
Yeah.
Like I avoided all of Facebook, which I was so but you know, intentionally.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to fucking deal with that. Like the last thing I had was a MySpace page, and
well,
that was
you
like
don't
a
need to
personal
be
thing.
like, you're an athlete, you know.
Yeah,
you're not
no.
like a musician where you gotta like feed off of your audience to do your shit. You
Well,
know
now
what I
you
mean?
do. And
Yeah,
that's the
now
thing
it's
is, like,
different,
I
right?
had to, like I said, I had to sit down multiple meetings with multiple companies, and the topic of the meetings was the importance of social media.
Damn.
And that was basically, someone had made me an Instagram and handed it to me. And it was like, okay, I put on these 4 photos of you, and here's the password.
Go for it.
And
Go
you,
nuts.
You have to do this. And I already got you lined up to sit down with a social media wizard to tell you how to fucking run this shit.
Some cocksucker.
And
you should have just came, dude. That's all I've done for my whole life.
Yeah, and
you should have just came and yelled at me. I would have been like, yeah, bro, I'll show you how to do this stupid shit.
So basically, I talked to a bunch of people, and they're like, so you got to basically just suck your own dick. And you gotta just tell these people.
Think about ways to
how
make yourself
awesome
sound
you are.
important.
And it's like, I'm coming from like high school mentality of where like, I can't ask a girl to fucking go out. Like, you know, I'm like super timid, and I have a hard enough time just like looking people in the eyes at this point in time. And I gotta like sell you me. You know what I mean? I gotta tell you why you want to see me.
Yeah.
And that fucking
Beyond
sucks.
just like the fact that I'm just throwing down monstrous shit.
Yeah.
Like fuck all
So
the
now my
fuck all the
skill-
crazy shit I'm doing on my skateboard.
And all this shit that I'm doing right now isn't good enough anymore because I can't fucking write a blurb on fucking Twitter or a tweet or, you know, I don't fucking know, man. It's insane. And literally, I'd sit down and listen to these fucking cocksuckers tell me why I have to do this. And then it's important for me to brand myself because then I have to like, you know, tell everybody about the brands that I ride for. And like, you know, it used to be like, it was so simple for a skateboarder of my age and era to go, you call up a photographer, a skate photographer, and you go out with your filmer homie. Yeah. And you shoot a photo and it's ran in Thrasher or Transworld or Skateboarder or
that's it.
It's
just a trick. You go out and just do fucking tricks.
And then you go home and then you're like, I got a trick. And you go to the bar, you get fucking blacked out drunk. Yeah. And then you don't do anything for a week. Yeah. And then the next week you do the same thing. Nowadays you have to go to the skate park, which you normally would do to warm up, but you have to have your homie like, hey man, film me do this.
On your fucking phone real fast.
Like, hey, can you grab my phone? I got this lens for my phone, so film me warm up. And it's like, then you got to put it on Instagram and be like, this is me warming up at the local park. Like, fucking check it out. And it's like, dude, fuck off. I don't care.
I don't want you to see this. I don't want you to see this part of my life.
Totally.
I want you to just see me fucking throwing the fuck down, and that's it.
Watch the skate video that has been edited down with all my
just
top
the best
moves.
shit that I've been doing for fucking the last 6 months.
Yeah, so kids these days, which they don't have any problem doing, they're just going to put a fucking ridiculous trick, which I couldn't do anyways, for their warm-up tricks, you know what I mean? And luckily, like, I've made it to where I don't have to have, like, people just want to see what I'm doing the way I do it. Yeah. Which is awesome. Like, I've learned that over the years.
I think that's like
a skate park, and I could do whatever the fuck
all the Enjoy guys are like that. I think that's what's really unique about that team is it's a bunch of people that are just doing what the fuck they want to do. It's not like it doesn't seem to be as driven by the rest of the fucking skate scene as far as like what's going down. You know what I mean? Or like it's and I of course like have an extra attachment to it because it's all fucking San Jose guys, you know what I mean? And it's been like super homegrown, but it seems like a natural fit for you because they like it's who you are as a person, the company. It's not like some like huge stretch. It's not like you have to fucking pretend to be something you're not to be a part of that team. It's just the same. The boards are all fucking inside jokes and you know what I mean? It's all the same shit that you guys are talking about when you're partying fucking,
It's just dick fart.
A lot of dick,
a
lot of dick fart and pussy jokes. Yeah,
really is all it is. And
fast foodery
here's a
and
fucking
shit.
Enjoy shirt right here.
Yeah, it's just butt. It's just a butt cheeks with
Some
motorcycles.
dudes riding motocross on some butt cheeks.
On some butt cheeks.
I don't know.
Yeah,
What
amazing.
the fuck does that even mean?
Always,
But
it's so good. It's so good.
it's excellent, whatever the fuck it is.
But I think that what you said there is accurate. Like, you're not one of those dudes where people are like, fucking. You're way past the stage where you have to put on Instagram for kids. Like, kids they're following you because they fucking know who you are. They've known who you are for a long
And that's also a
time.
good thing is now that I've embraced the social media thing is like I don't have to just fucking get smoked and get stressed out trying to film an Instagram clip for the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is probably what so many skateboarders are doing now. Like, every day they got to just get an Instagram clip out every day.
And the thing is, like, there's no personal space too either. It's crazy. Like, we were talking about this before this all happened. It's like, and you even brought it up now. It's like you would have to wait years to find out what your favorite pro was doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what tours he was doing, where he was at, like. And
You didn't know
see
till
what the
after they were
cool
done most
tricks-
of the time.
And they weren't even the cool tricks now. They were the cool tricks 3 years ago when he was doing, or not the cool tricks, but what you thought was cool because he was doing it.
Yeah.
And now like it's so easy to find out that like your favorite skateboarder is a fucking kook.
Yeah.
It is so easy. You hear it the second that they do their trick and they look at the camera and they're like, yeah, that's me, dog. And you're just like, oh god, that's
Fuck, I hate you.
Get
I fucking hate your
out of
guts
here.
right
Like,
now.
I'm almost like glad that I found out now because before you invest, you wear your favorite dude's t-shirt, the brand that he rides for, and all this shit, and then you see him at like a demo, and you're like, hey man, what's up? You're my favorite skater. He's like pushing your head out of the way, trying to get his chick, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. Well, now I know, like, my heart's broken. I'm like a little fucking teenage girl, like, oh god.
You're super cool with the kids at the skate park too. I always see you all the time. Like, kids.
I save my old boards. I don't break boards anymore.
Yeah.
I give them all out.
Yeah.
It's like that's the kind of shit that like I remember as a kid.
Fucking Tim and Jason.
Exactly,
We had the best examples of like pro skateboarders as we were kids. There were so many good ones, like people that you would see in all the best videos and shit like that, but they were like around and they would show up and fucking give the kids boards and skate. And like Tim specifically, I remember just being,
I don't even think I ever saw that dude have a bad day. I don't even know if it was in his fucking
or be mad or like
exactly.
be like
That's
he
what I
wouldn't
mean.
land
Like,
a trick.
would
He
have
had
a
no
bad day,
reaction.
but he wouldn't be the kind of dude that's like yelling or freaking the fuck out.
Throw a board.
Yeah, no, like he was genuinely just like a happy guy all the fucking time, which is insane. Like,
And every kid would like ask him some shit, and he would talk to every kid the same
he'd
way.
make it a point to like sit down or like at least take a second to actually, tell him the exact truth.
He
Like,
knows, like I'm sure that like those interactions are super important to those kids,
so far.
and to you not at all. It's just a fucking moment in your day, but it's like all you could just be a dick right there in that moment in your day. Like most people are dicks in their day all the time, whether they're driving a car,
just thinking
not
about
open a
some
door.
shit that just happened,
But you don't realize it's like you're someone who is impactful. So you
sure.
be a dick in that moment right there, and then you fucking paint a picture for that kid, and maybe he's in a position to be a cool guy later, and he's not because no one was fucking cool to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's definitely like I feel like out here there was so many good examples of pro athletes, skateboarders, and it wasn't. This was like pre-X Games when it wasn't super cool and it wasn't on TV and shit. But they didn't have to be. Like, fools could be drunk at the skate park and like throwing up. And there was always like the dudes that were like known to be fucked up and like wild and manny, tattooed fucking heads and shit, slamming their bodies on the vert ramp over and over again. You're like, yeah, that dude's on fucking something hard right now. And that was like cool, but like. That that at the same time it's like that there's no fucking future in that, especially in this like Instagram era where kids want to connect with you and shit. They don't want to connect with a fucking dickhead who's like high at the skate park. Like, it's just not. You see a lot less of that. A lot less of that like image driven skateboarder that doesn't have the skill but is like the coolest motherfucker in the planet. I feel like there was a lot more of those in like the late the height of the X Games era and shit, like the late 90s, early 2000s. There was a lot of cats that were like, man, that dude's not that good, but he's just really
he
fucking.
sure is fucking cool.
He's
And,
cool
like,
as fuck. He dresses different.
Totally,
and,
yeah.
Yeah.
There's fucking tons of that shit, and it does go far.
Well,
which
that's a
is cool.
fucking weird thing to have to think about when you're an athlete. Like
dude,
the
it
whole
fucking
like having to sit
sucks,
down and be
man.
like, you need to fucking be on Facebook posting about what you're
All it is,
eating and
dude,
shit.
It's numbers, and dudes, they're number crunchers. So they have apps to fucking see what kind of interactions you got going on, and like that goes so far beyond what the hell is going on in my brain when I wake up in the morning. Like I'm not thinking like,
Or what should be.
who am I gonna reach out to today? Like, and who's gonna watch my video? Like, I don't. That's awesome, and I appreciate everybody that watches a video.
That's
or
important,
fucking-
like when the video comes out, but that's not like how you live your life every day
yeah,
to
but
get
I'm
the
not
part
so
done.
driven to where I'm like, all right, I gotta feed these fucking kids like this, I don't know.
Kill myself at the park
Dude.
doing some crazy flip trick on the pyramid just to get it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Spend my whole day doing that shit.
You'll
Be
see,
mad
like-
because I tried it 900 times and I know I could do it because I've fucking done it before. That's just a frustrating
For sure.
thing. Versus just like going out and vibing and then being like, yo, I think I could do this right here. Hold on, film this shit real fast.
And
You know what I mean?
That's when the phones go away, the fucking cameras get out there. But like, dudes, you just be surfing around the fucking I don't even know what the hell they call it. The pop. It's not. It used to be the popular page. Now it's
Yeah.
what the fuck they call it on Instagram, like where you just like are looking through random people's posts.
No, yeah. It's like your top viewed shit, like the shit that what is it? It's like when
So-
you go to the search thing.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
trending, explore post or whatever.
Explorer
Yeah,
page.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so you go on the Explorer page and you see some kid backside grind, like a quadruple kink 25 stair handrail, and you're thinking like, shit, man, I've never even done that. And if I were to do that, I wouldn't put it on Instagram. Like it wouldn't go straight to Instagram. Like just posted 1 hour ago.
Just fucking day one
Yeah.
drive you nuts or what?
no, you know,
Dude, my wife, like if I'm looking at my phone and I go, fuck, my wife goes, day one? Like she knows. She knows that it's just because I'm like so like it's like magic tricks
well, in
that are
aspect,
happening.
Yeah, for sure. Like,
But it's like, what the fuck
I
are you
think
doing? Why
about-
is this on Instagram every day? I hate you. How do you compete with that shit? Like fucking broom,
Yeah, no,
fucking kickflips on a
That's
mini.
untouchable. Like
It's so
but
fucked.
What I think about the whole entire time when I see that shit is like, how many hours did he dedicate for that one trick? You know, like I would have lost my mind and fucking gave up. And then
You imagine because it's day one that he just fucking it's like
would do it right away.
He just first
Yeah,
tried.
for sure. But there's got to be like, I mean, come
He's
on.
got to have one day where he's like just
At
doing the
least.
dumbest manual trick and he's like, fuck!
Yeah,
like going
because
insane
I'll
in
lose
his
my
brain.
mind doing a simple fucking flip trick into a manual. You know, like
You know who
versus-
else? Fucking wayward nephew.
Oh, I
Fucking
just skated with him today.
dude.
Chris Haslam, yeah.
I love that his shit is all like San Jose shit. It'll be like the Red Park and shit too. And
Yeah. No, he recently just his parents moved to Watsonville, so he sold his house in Canada and fucking outside of Vancouver, and he's just living there. Like he lives in his truck on their property or has
Yeah.
a room there. I don't know what the hell he does, but he'll drive to San Jose like just for no reason. Come and like fucking. One time he called up one of our homies, and the homies was like, "Yeah, I guess I'm not gonna skate." So he just fucking drove all the way here, and then he was like, "What am I gonna do? I'm gonna go." Like he went to Nickel City. And just, he drove from Watsonville to go fucking play
Play
some video
Nickel
games,
City.
and then drove home.
dude,
You don't give a
fucking
shit. He's
insane.
good like that.
Yo, his at wayward nephew.
Yeah, check him out.
That's a great Instagram.
He's got some unorthodox maneuvers. On
He's and that's a dude who like
entertaining as fuck.
that. I think that's the way you fucking do it. That's how you interact with your audience. You find like a unique way to interact. Even the day one shit, it's of course like that's unique to him, and nobody could do that shit but him. But like finding that's how you do the Instagram shit. You don't fucking be like, hey, I'm eating fucking French toast and picture of your French toast.
Yeah.
You find a way that like where you do something unique that fucking interacts with them. You know who else is awesome is Mike York. His whole shit is like the fun movement, and all the tricks they do are just it's all like fucking 1 foot backside tail slides and like crazy no comply tricks and
That dude's-
slappy tricks.
he's
It's super
old enough
fun.
to know like what is fun and what's not, and what's stressful and what's not. And I'm sure he chooses like at the time when he was probably learning those tricks in like the early to mid 90s. Like,
Yeah.
it was probably pretty stressful. And then
Yeah.
now that he's an older man, like,
It's fun as fuck.
Yeah, and
that he knows how to do all of them.
Yeah, he knows how to do it already, and he knows that it's fun, and he's gonna fucking choose that route, and that's cool. That's
He's the
awesome.
first dude too to be like I've seen him like on
He was really
Instagram
nice to me,
before.
like,
Oh, he's
all
cool
that
as fuck.
shit. Like when I talk to him, yeah, it's like, and that's one thing that sticks with me now is like he was a good dude.
He was
Although he did laugh at one of my friends when we were at a skate spot back in the day, and we really hated him for so long.
He was like the East Coast dude that was in San Francisco all the time.
Yeah. It was at fucking EMB after
I had to be
rebuilt, you know.
Yeah.
It was
He's like, ha ha.
Yeah,
like
right.
Nelson.
So homie was like trying to do a nose slide on the ledge, and he was like getting all wild with his hands. And then next thing we know, we see Mike York across the way, and we're like trying to see what he's doing. And then he like sketchy ollies up to the block and a nose slide. And he's doing the arms, and we're like, that dude's a dick.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, that's awesome. And I think that's amazing. I always see him be like, if you're like the dudes that he was skating with, like he says, like if you're a skateboarder, fools don't want to see you on Instagram eating food or fucking like kicking it with your kids. It doesn't matter. Like if you're fucking Lance Mountain, they still want to see you fucking skating, dude. Like I don't want to see you doing anything else. Don't show me you painting a picture. You better be grinding a fucking bowl. You know what I mean?
And that's another thing that came up in a meeting too. Is like, no matter what you're into, if it's like, you know, fishing, shooting guns, fucking picking your nose,
like do that
old
on
ladies,
Instagram,
like whatever. It's like, you know, I purposely will at least try to never post a photo of my girlfriend, first of all, and then second of all, a risque one.
Yeah.
Because I don't want these little kids who are following me for skateboarding to see my old lady in a fucking bikini.
And then what, are they gonna follow your old lady? And like, yeah, I follow Caswell's lady, bro. Check it out what she's wearing today. Like, that's creepy. That's not for you.
No, exactly.
Why can't I just have parts of my life that you don't be involved in?
Yeah.
Dude, there was years with the battle shit where my wife didn't have a Facebook because she knew that people would just go on it and fucking try and find personal things about me and then bring them up in battles. Link me to my nephew and my sister-in-law. 100%, because I'll get pissed.
You got a handicapped fucking cousin or something, and they're like, that next thing you know, you're battling.
And it's it's all funny when you're like, when you just say, when you're like, your wife, yeah, whatever, fuck my wife. But then when you're like Rachel and you're showing a picture, I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? Yeah. I retired, so I don't have to worry about this shit anymore. Now they all know my weaknesses and shit. It's fucking great.
About it doesn't even fucking matter.
Oh, Caswell, thanks for fucking coming on here and chatting with us about fucking skateboarding. I think we have like there's like a huge crossover. The battle rap shit is very niche market, but it's one of those things that I feel like skateboarding, especially with music, because we used to grow up with skate videos that had fucking. It'd be hieroglyphics, and then it'd be like fucking Diana Ross, and then it'd be like a Slayer song. Like, so we listened to everything when we were kids, and I think that's the battle fans. It's the same way. It's because battling is not like it's a rap shit, but there's so much like it's acapella. That's not even a beat to it. A lot of it is just really comical. So you have kids that don't listen to mainstream hip hop at all. They listen to fucking Morrissey, but they're into battling because they like Carter Deems or they like one specific guys. I think that I wasn't surprised when people had asked me. They're like, "Oh yeah, you know that guy? Have him on the fucking show."
I was tripping when you brought it up to me. I was
just like, "Why?
Really? What? You know, I don't understand, but that's cool, and I appreciate you having me." And
we jump around the planet, and like I see you in Instagram, and you're in like a different country, and then I'm in a different country, and then you're in a different country. It's cool to see the other homies leaving San Jose, because there was so long when it was like the hardest thing to do to get you to come over to ST and skate the ledges, or to get us to come over to fucking Longs to skate the curb, and we're talking
like a solid 20-minute skate. Right
but it's like, dude, it's like 2 miles, like 3 miles tops. You know what I mean? Like now it's a trip because all these San Jose guys are fucking on the other side of the planet, fucking doing demos and shit like that. It's cool as fuck. Dirtbag Dan Show, Caswell Berry. What's your Instagram so they could fucking follow you and make your fucking the suits happy and shit?
The number crunchers.
Yeah.
It's just my name at Caswell Berry.
That's easy enough.
WELLBERRY.
I put it on the screen right there.
Is it right down?
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah, that's how we do that shit. All right, follow Caswell Berry so the fucking number crunchers get off his back. Yeah. But just fucking watch him lay down magic and don't bug him in his personal life, okay? He's fucking beyond that shit. But I'll tell you what, if you see him at the skate park, say what's up, because he's the coolest motherfucker on the planet.
And we'll fucking talk about anything, food or fucking
whatever. Just
drinks.
not on
It
Instagram.
doesn't matter.
Just not on Instagram
I don't give a
DM.
shit about that either. Do it.
Dirtbag Dan Show, you bitch!